Previously in X-Men. While Cyclops is on his honeymoon with his bride, Madeline, the X-Men are enjoying an all-too-brief moment of much-deserved rest and relaxation. Every precaution has been made, so nothing bad could possibly go wrong. I mean, possibly go wrong, but that would be impossible. I am Jason Lapidus.
And that's the first thing to ever go wrong on this podcast video show. I'm Chris.
And we are Group of Seven Comics. Welcome to episode 93 of our ongoing Tuesday night live stream read-through of X-Men comics that became classic as we read Uncanny X-Men Annual 7 by writer Chris Claremont, penciler Michael Golden, with 4 pages by Brett Blevins and inked by a murderer's row of pros, including Golden himself, Bob Wyachek, Terry Austin, Joe Rubenstein, Al Milgram, and more. Cover date of 1983. Chris, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. I am doing well, and how about yourself?
Doing pretty good. This is a bit of a detour from the ongoing narrative we've been following for most of the weeks. We do detour once in a while for something like a lateral step that is usually by the X-Men team, mostly in this case Claremont, and with our X-Men characters. So we're kind of happy to see that go. And I'm this one I can't pass up wanting to read this one with you because Michael Golden art is ahead of its time, and a lot of people don't know that this one is a Michael Golden issue because the exterior art is John Romita Jr. in his very early days, and this cover offers us, nothing really artistically. You and I are both openly fans of Romita, especially as he develops into who he becomes, and this one has nothing. This looks like it's the most boring comic of all time when you just look at the cover. So I passed on it many, many times, not realizing that one of my absolute favorite artists of all time was actually doing most of the interiors. And even like the first couple pages, he just flexes, and Golden is ahead of his inkers most of the time. And we're going to see, like, he's possibly a major influence on guys like Art Adams and Todd McFarlane and Liefeld and Jim Lee.
Oh. Can't hear you, Jason.
Can you hear me now, though, right?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I didn't even do anything. Anyway, so I'm excited to read this one for that reason, but it is a weird one. David Cutler, David, I'm glad you're here. Always a sound voice in the chat, presenting insights and fun opinions and a good hot take on just about everything, which is wonderful. He says, a murderer's row of inkers. Sounds like What If Tomb of Dracula #1. What if Tomb of Dracula #1? Tell us about that, David. That sounds incredible. I have a hunch we'll be hearing more about What If Tomb of Dracula #1. Hidden New Draw Blade is like, what a joy, huh?
It's pronounced Blade.
Hey, Blade.
Blade.
David, I hope you're having a good week. I know that this is a weird week for me. I'm starting into Chris. I'm starting into Battober, the list came out last night from one of our favorite creators, Chris Somney, and so right away I'm like, okay, I got to do the first one, get a few done, get a few under my belt. Took me all day with all the regular interruptions, but it took me all day to kind of figure out how I was going to do.
How many did you do?
The first one's called Reveal. I've done one. One's fine.
One's more than 0.
One is more than 0, and I'm still ahead of schedule. So that's fine. I was hoping to maybe get 1.5 done or something, but it was just not going to be one of those days where a lot was going to happen. So
it's called Reveal. That's the prompt.
That's the prompt. Is the word reveal.
So okay, let's play for a second. What ideas do you have? One pen, and I give myself no words.
Straight up reveal. I mean, mask coming off, right? Could be one.
Yeah. So sure.
Oh, what's that?
No, I'm agreeing with you. Yeah,
what did you say?
Mask coming off.
Yeah, mask coming off could be reveal, or
Who's Mask? And
Joe Chill revealed as his parents' murderers. You know, like a reveal in the story. You know, or that the owls live in Gotham, or on the 13th floor of all.
Your like story idea is not the visual idea, but it has to be a visual. So
mask coming off is reveal. Mask coming off is reveal, right?
So Batman removing his mask.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that would be the first thing that comes to mind.
I thought the first thing that would come to your mind would be the same as David's. Batman dropping trowel. Reveal the Bathammer. Massimo says, good luck on Battober, on that Battober. Thanks, man. Are you going to do it too? Are you drawing as well, Mass? I hope you are. It's always neat to see different people's take on the same prompt. I can tell you what I went with, though, if you want to know. I did 4 different reveals, like in thumbnails, different versions of it, whether it was, different characters revealing something. And, I kind of wanted to do Damian revealing who his real father was to Batman.
Right.
And be like, Bruce, you are my father. That kind of thing.
Totally.
But I went with Batman revealing his costume to Alfred the first time.
Oh. Hey, check this out, Alfred. And he's like, Master Bruce. Sorry, Michael Caine it? Should I Michael Caine it?
Sure.
No, I can't. It's too early. It's too early in the show to go Michael Caine.
There's, for me, a memorable moment in Batman Mask of the Phantasm.
Right.
Where as Bruce Wayne is like, his life is just starting to veer away from maybe this crime fighter existence, as him and his fiance are starting down that path. And then, the next day he gets the ring back and a note that says, like, this can't happen. I have to run away with my dad to Europe or whatever. Yeah. It's sort of some mysterious exit.
Spoiler alert.
And so he, and then he's basically pulled back into the direction he was going. And he puts on the costume in silhouette, like comes out to Alfred in the thing. And Alfred's like, good Lord, or like my word, or whatever his reaction is. And that always stuck with me as being a very powerful visual of like seeing someone react to his visage and the impression.
What are some of the other prompts you're excited or you've already got thoughts on?
You know what? I did not look ahead, but I have it right here. Matter of fact.
Is there one dropping trow? Is that a prompt?
Yeah, trow. It's like I said, Bathammer was the name of it.
Right.
The second one is Torn by Natalie Imbruglia.
I was going to say, is he at an Imbruglia concert? That's what I would have drawn.
The third one.
But he's like watching from the wings because he's Batman, He's not paying for a ticket.
Can't help but think. Yeah, there's none that stand out for me yet because it's all about the idea that you come up with, right? The visual, and then just the joy of drawing that thing, and I try not to get ahead of myself and think like how someone's going to react to it, but just whether I enjoy drawing it or not. So day 3 is, I'll just read them: Spooked, Forgotten, Call, Grace, Pose, Shelf, Stone, Twist, Hurt, Inheritance, Vanity, Undercover, Memento, Regret. This one's for David. Handful, Imposter, Solitude, Sacrifice, Lesson, Spiral, Dangerous, Clarity, Study, Faith, Silhouette, Hurry, Precipice, Heartbreak, Ascend. So there's lots of good ones. Ascend for me is 100% Lego Batman when he gets taken into the Phantom Zone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I just saw another one for
David's.
reveal.
Oh, good. What's that?
Yeah, no, I know. Yep. Reveal could be showing the Batcave to a young Dick Grayson for the first time.
For sure.
Right, it's got all the giant coin and the dinosaur and all those things that make no sense but are in the Batcave. But we're not talking Batman today.
Well, we actually are talking Batman today.
Are we?
I love this. Literally half of these could be Batman pulling his pants down in different contexts. David has something on the brain. Yeah. Ascend, silhouette, sacrifice. Yeah. I mean, there's so many of them, but that's for David's version of Battober, which I really hope you do. And
it's super smutty. Super smutty.
Yeah. David's Battober OnlyFans. You can subscribe to that. Just follow the links in I'm game for that. So I don't know if you noticed, but we're going to be coming across many, many Easter eggs in this issue as Michael Golden puts readers through their paces by putting a lot of different fun things in it. Did you notice some of the things that are scattered throughout the issue?
I think so. I don't think anything really. I read it really quickly this evening because I had read the other issue that I thought we'll do that one next week. But yeah,
fair enough. So we're going to cross the street to the distinguished competition in this issue. I don't know if you knew that. We're also going to go to a galaxy far, far away. We're going to do a few different things, so we'll have some fun. And there might be even signs of life from other planets that could be extraterrestrial. Like there's all sorts of different things. Hey, Trevor, how are you? I know you appreciate some good Michael Golden, so we're going to see some good Michael Golden and some mediocre Michael Golden in this issue. As I think the quantity was maybe more than he wanted to do in the time he had. And some of the work gets spread around with all these different inkers too, right? So Golden inks like the first couple pages, and they're the best pages in the book. Maybe. Anyway.
Maybe.
You ready for this, Chris?
Sure.
What do you need to do to the view to make it more beautiful?
Oh, I know what I got to do. Hold on a second.
Because
call. There we are. Good call on that one. There you are.
I mean, so much more beautiful all of a sudden.
So much. Unlike this cover.
True.
Which is, I don't know. Is it beautiful?
No.
No.
I bet you anyone could, well, not anyone, but a good creator would be able to redraw this, give it a good remix, and make it so much more interesting. You can see, like, we're so early in Romita Jr.'s time on X-Men that his understanding of where Wolverine's arm hair goes is pretty limited. As if there would be a blank spot on the back of a tricep or on the tricep. I can attest it would not be a blank spot if you're as hairy as Wolverine.
That's where he shaves. He shaves that.
As well, you can see he doesn't have his version of Nightcrawler's vamp smoke down pat yet. So there's a few fun things that he'll get better at as time goes. And hey, Chuck, how are you? Hope you're having a good week or a good start to your week, at least, because this is going to go bonkers right about now. You ready, Chris?
Get ready. Oh,
and just even figuring out who's going to read what. Do you have, assuming that this green guy is in this comic, I hope you have a voice in mind for him.
Yeah. I
all right, let's do it then. And his voice might change.
It's a good point. I don't think it'll go into Princess Bride territory.
Oh, good. But I can't wait for the next wedding issue, because every wedding issue we're going to have to pull that.
Every wedding issue that we're going to trot that out.
Yes. I read this for the first time in the Essential Volume 4, and it was in black and white. So the opening gag, I did not realize it was a gag because, well, I'll tell you when we get there. Pardon me. Look at this. Come on. Look at this half splash. Like, that is gorgeous. The body language on everybody, it's so good. The craziest winter in living memory is at last over. and throughout the land, the sound of wood against horsehide can once again be heard, accompanied by the pop of all manner of beverage cans being opened and the happy cry of
"Batter up! Get a hit, Peter. We sure need it."
Considering the odds, we should be winning this game. The score's pretty close, Aurora.
Score is pretty close.
We still have a chance. See, like David's got it on the brain today. Look at that. He is.
He's already into it, eh? Like,
yeah, he's into it. Yeah. David's got to get it over.
I love he's wearing the camo too. It's very, very Rambo-y.
Yeah, well, we're very butch. And this awesome popsicle is this is what they call Chekhov's popsicle. Because it's going to come up later.
For that popsicle. That's also on OnlyFans.
Yes. At first glance, the sides do seem a bit uneven, with Nightcrawler, Wolverine, and Rogue facing their three fellow X-Men, Kitty Pryde, Colossus, and Storm. Plus their mentor, Charles Xavier, his true love, Lilandra, Colossus' sister, Ileana, and Kitty's pet dragon, Lockheed. But appearances can often be deceiving. I just think this panel of them setting up for baseball looks amazing. Like, even Storm standing back there, her pose that she strikes is really good. Like, Kitty leaning back and Ileana, arms folded. Everyone just has so much character in these little tiny doodles. I think it's really good looking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks great.
And then the high and low diving platforms.
Oh yeah,
I think he drew those before when in the Avengers Annual 10, which is miscredited in this issue as Avengers Annual 7. But anyway, we'll get there later. All right, let's turn that page.
Here we go. I shall miss this when I leave, Charles.
There's a simple solution.
Yes, you and the X-Men come with me to Shi'ar.
Touché. I must say, Wolverine chose his team brilliantly. Nightcrawler's teleporting abilities enable him to be anywhere in the field in the blink of an eye, while Rogue can fly after any ball he misses. And Wolverine is the sneakiest pitcher I've ever seen. Good shot, Peter.
I think I'll let that one go, my friend.
Yeah.
Me too, Wolvie.
Congrats, Beatty. You just put another ball into orbit.
No, he didn't. Not this time. Look, it's coming back down. Impossible. The descent's trajectory's all wrong. Unless it bounced off something on the way up. That's no ball. Shara and Kathuri, preserve us. It's a ship.
And then just the animation of all these characters, like their poses are so funny. And I can't think of anyone else at Marvel who could do this at this time. Paul Smith maybe. But there weren't guys that could do cartoony, exaggerated figures that also looked super heroic in this way at that moment in time. But give it a decade, and it is like the house style over at, everywhere is kind of these exaggerated forms. Becomes really prominent. But yeah, just awesome to look at. Really cool. And really strange, like in this explanation or this dialogue, the square here, the word presser, like is in suppressor, like why? It's as if Rogue is narrating for a second, massive pressure beams, but it's not her. It's anyway, it's just strange. Massive pressure beams hammer the astounded mutants to the ground and nearly unconscious as the unknown vessel reverses its main drive and comes to a complete stop directly above the mansion. A moment later, its sole occupant emerges.
All right, give us your best, Galactus.
Well, I think anyone who's looking at this, and I mean, there's 8 of you in the chat live right now. I'm assuming all 8 of you realize that's not really Galactus, given who's on the cover and whatnot. So the voice doesn't matter. But I was going to say before, when I read this originally in black and white, the gag didn't work. I didn't realize.
Of course, right?
I thought it actually was Galactus to start the issue. Anyway, greetings, Earthlings. I come in peace.
And you go in pieces. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Trevor's asking for the
multi-voice. That's only for Phoenix. It's only one for Phoenix.
It is. The multi-voice is one of the worst features of our show. You know, pulled out for very rare occasions.
It's up there with wedding ceremonies.
Yes. Barry, how you doing? Welcome. Barry says, yeah, one of my least fave X-Men annuals till they went to the multi-storied crossover ones in the late 80s, early 90s. I forget when they started those. Yeah, those became very forgettable when they were all crossed over. There's a bunch that Mike Mignola does like the covers for a whole bunch, maybe in 89 or 90.
For annuals?
Yeah, I got my hands on a bunch. Because
I got to find those. Yeah, cool.
They're not that interesting, though. Even from him, like it's not my favorite content that he gives, like not my favorite art, but you know, if it's cheap, I'm going to pick it up anyway. Jonathan says, it may not be the real Galactus, but it is some damn fine or damn fire art from Michael Golden. No doubt. I mean, the scope of that character, the weight of him, you don't get other guys drawing like this. And anything he draws, I'm going to read and soak up. Even if the story sucks, I still love the way he makes everything come together. Like, just look at the sky, look at the buildings, even the choice on how to light like the bottom of that ship with the light emerging from it. It's unbelievable.
It looks great.
Yeah, definitely. He's just, when he puts pen or pencil to paper, he's the best artist around. Every time, for me. I mean, you know, he does things that other guys cannot do in this house at that moment in time. So I love him. There you go, Galactus. Let's keep going.
Galactus! He is the enemy of all that lives, a being who consumes living planets for food and crushes utterly any who dare to try and stop him. Even your powers, X-Men, are as nothing compared to his.
Yet he said he came in peace, Lilandra. Perhaps a mind probe will yield some idea of his true intentions. Odd. Galactus registers as a psychic null, almost as if he doesn't exist. But wait. I sense another presence. I'll attempt contact.
Charles!
And then, like, just this mind-bending image. I don't know who else would ever try something like that. I imagine Bill Sienkiewicz will do that in a couple of years. He'll play, but it won't be as tight as this. It'll be much more not painterly, but like abstract. And this feels like almost a digital effect. Like there's such intention behind every single choice. Really effective. Anyway.
Yeah, it's you know, kind of grotesque too.
And
warped. It definitely throws you as a reader for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor. He's in deep shock. In his condition, I'd best not risk porting him to the infirmary. Lilandra, give me a hand.
At least Charlie got the answers we needed.
We shall proceed accordingly, my friend. And then, like, the power of that storm pose, holy smokes. Like, I feel those hands really stretched. And, crazy outfit, too. But, man, just incredible drawing. And how burly is that Wolverine?
I was going to say how burly Wolverine is.
This is the first abstraction that I've ever seen. Like, I remember having a couple conversations with artists, over the last few years about when we start to see caricatures and really strong abstractions of house style at Marvel. And this is the most abstract Wolverine I've seen to date, at least in these comics, like in X-Men. I mean, he is almost as wide as he is tall.
Oh, absolutely.
And it looks great. I mean, I don't mind it at all. So it's very dramatic. And the amount of hair on that character is just crazy.
Oh,
David says, there is a lot of intent in the warping. I think Bill S would trace smeared Xeroxes generally. That's so cool. Yeah, like you take while you're photocopying it, you pull on the source, and it will then come out as a smeared photocopy, right? And so that's how Sienkiewicz would do some of those effects. That's very cool. Barry says, your reading hilariously reflects your love of this issue. Thank you.
Oh, get ready, Barry. I don't know if you've been listening too much with our readings, but they come.
Swolverine.
Swolverine.
Here we go.
Amazing. Okay.
So this is where the reading gets weird to me. Like, it's Galactus's voice, but this like the reading voice, it's not written as, wow, this is neat.
Right.
She created a storm out of nowhere. I've never seen any human do that before. Have care, mortals. The harm that befell your professor was unintentional, and he will quickly recover. But Galactus will permit no one to assault his person or stay him from his course. I require the use of your domicile. For your own safety, I suggest you remove yourselves from the premises and not attempt to deter me. This is our home, Galactus. We shall not give up without a fight.
That's telling the creep Storm. Aurora, no, you haven't a prayer. Maybe so, Majesty, maybe not. We won't know till we give it our best shot.
That looks so cool. Camouflage Colossus. We need that custom figure.
Yeah, where's that BAF?
Yeah, no kidding. That would be hilarious. You can actually, now that you start mentioning this, you could put together a combination of some G.I. Joe pieces and some X-Men pieces and make that figure happen. I just, again, love the idea they're all looking up and ready to go. And I'm really enjoying Rogue's transition into the team. This is, maybe our 4th issue with her or so. And, each time she is really committed to being a member of the group and sacrificing herself. And so it's good to see every time. Peter's dressed like John Goodman and Lebowski. Yeah.
He just needs those shades, those glasses, and he's good to go.
Great pose for Rogue in that bottom panel. I agree. I love the foreshortening on it. And again, that you can see she's just about to spring up and leap into the air and throw a mean punch. So it feels like all the best of Rogue is in that moment. It's very good.
I also love, no matter how large the obstacle is, it literally how large. Wolverine's popped his claws. He's like, I'm going to take this guy down. It's like, you can do nothing.
It's true. It's very true. Yeah. You were warned, Gnats. Those few words, that one gesture, bring instant, absolute oblivion. And when, shortly thereafter, it passes.
Oogla bleach.
Zucker was as good as his word. I'll give him that. You wanted the house. He took it.
So, what do we do now?
We go get it back.
As we guess who says what.
Yeah, I think I can see the mohawk on her head. Yeah. I love the empty pool with all the water now is the bottom of the pit.
Yeah.
Yeah. But just to draw that believably, just to imagine what it looks like and then pull that off, is really, really cool to see. Yeah, just great, great, great art. Impossible Man is entering a world of pain. Dude, why the big hole, man? You stepped over the line, Galactus. Over the line. Look at the caricature. Look at the Colossus chin when he's covering his ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild.
Totally.
Jonathan, I think, is pointing out. He says Michael Golden drawing Colossus like Schwarzenegger before Schwarzenegger was Schwarzenegger.
It's true.
It's pretty wild.
Come with me if you want to live.
Yeah.
And we get these chapters in this annual too, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Storm, Professor, y'all absolutely sure we should be doing this?
Scared rogue.
Wolvie, old son of... You betcha!
I think this is Xavier.
That's Xavier, yeah.
Yes. With good reason, X-Men. We've faced possibly the most formidable antagonist of our lives. Fortunately, his mind is so unique and alien that my own telepathic powers can easily pinpoint his location. Take care, Professor. Remember the consequences of your initial side probe. We are almost totally ignorant of our foe, Storm, since we cannot match his raw power, knowledge, and cunning. Can't match his raw power. Knowledge and cunning must be our keys to defeating him. Lalandra briefed us on Galactus. But is that who we're after? Galactus consumed worlds. What need has he for a house, even ours? And see where the Psionic Trail is leading us? Shield's helicarrier. I don't know who's saying this. He is somewhere aboard, yet how could so huge a being even fit on a ship built for human beings? Nightcrawler, you and Kitty reconnoiter.
Is that a word?
Reconnoiter?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm assuming it's conduct reconnaissance, but it's...
Yes.
All right.
I think I've heard it more than I've seen it. It might have been even a word thrown around on shows like G.I. Joe. It means exactly what you think it means.
Right.
And I've never said it aloud before.
Wow.
And I don't think I've ever read it before. I think I've only just heard it on military type shows and movies, reconnoiter. But there you go.
There you go. Yastor, we got company, Fuzzy Elf. Huh? Hey, shoo!
Who do you think this is?
I think it's Storm.
You think this is Storm, maybe? Yeah, I guess it's in a leadership role. Professor Xavier will use his mind link to direct you to our quarry. For the moment, just find him. Take no action without first consulting me. SHIELD is the free world's premier law organization. And this helicarrier, hovering miles above the Earth, its reputably impregnable headquarters.
Ooh.
Now, for this next page,
yes,
this is a visual reference to something.
Okay.
And have you heard of an artist named Steranko?
Yes.
So Steranko was like originally someone who was taking, he was like under Kirby's wing in terms of having his layouts to do pencils over, because they wanted to teach him the house style of storytelling. Mm-hmm. And he goes on to kind of invent some really interesting visual language graphically. And he has a couple really famous pages of SHIELD, specifically Nick Fury SHIELD comics.
Okay.
Where he has like a sex scene that is played out through these kinds of panels. Okay. And it was, cutting edge at the time. And it's, for anyone who read Marvel Comics at the end of the 60s, it was a really memorable, I guess, introduction to the lexicon and the tone. He was like bringing some of like the James Bond suave thing to Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And I can't imagine that this is anything other than an homage to that page. And I could have pulled it up to sort of prove my point. But I'm just trying to figure out how to read this. So we've got obviously Nick, and the Contessa is there, like on the fur rug for a moment. And then she puts down the martini glass. We get a look at the stereo. She takes a sip of her martini. She walks over to him, and then
he takes a cigarette out or puts it out beside
his cigar and the martini glass go into the ashtray.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how is this supposed to be some kind of euphemism? Like, is the cigar just a cigar, or are we supposed to be doing something here?
Right.
And then we get a look at another piece of like the equipment in the room as they begin their interaction. But I'm not sure I get, like, unless it's just him being playful and showing like the randomness and how it doesn't make any sense. I don't know how I'm supposed to read this to take any other meaning other than it being just an homage without meaning.
Right.
So, yeah. Right.
Okay.
It's the gun in the holster. Thank you, Jonathan. That's exactly. Jonathan says the famous holster panel from Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, they have all this sort of, beating around the bush and the innuendo, and then it's the gun gets put in the holster and it's on the side, like on a bedpost or on the corner of a desk.
Right.
This page makes me think of a scene from Doctor Strangelove. Oh, cool. I hadn't thought of that. But Jonathan, it's exactly what I'm referring to. And it's just like these silent panels that are, again, alluding to sexual activity. So another thing, just for us MCU fans, the character here that Nick Fury, we all know, and the other character is the one played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
That's right. That's right.
And there you go. Just put that.
I hope we see a reenactment of this scene in the MCU between Samuel L. Jackson and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
I have a hunch we will not. I think the days of her participating in this kind of objectification of herself as an actress, I don't think it's going to happen anymore. I think she's all done. Yeah.
Understood. Those are the Veep days. Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, sure. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s director virtually from its inception.
Oh, whoops.
Oh, sorry, dude.
No, my fault.
I wasn't clear that we were going to read it. Pardon me. S.H.I.E.L.D.'s director virtually from its inception is Colonel Nicholas Fury. By the way, that's a little Easter egg of the movie Inception. I don't know if you noticed that. Ooh. The lady sharing his quarters and his life is La Contessa Valentina Allegro de Fontaine. Who would you like to read, by the way?
There's only a couple of lines of dialogue. I could be the Contessa, I guess.
Oh, yes, you can. As I recall, Contessa, you were holding a rose.
Nicholas, cara mia. It's the thoughts that count, not the props.
What does it mean when he says, I thought you were holding a rose? Like, what does it mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, are we missing something? What are we missing?
I don't know. I find it really funny nonetheless. Anyway, there you go. I just wanted to hear you talk sweet to me.
No problem. No problem. And if cara mia means my beloved in Italian.
Sure.
So there you go. Cara mia. Okay. I'm going to use that now as much as I possibly can.
Oh, you know what? Someone just sent me the page.
Oh, really?
Do you want me to put it up?
Sure. It's a good page.
I wonder if I can. I'm wondering if I can do this. Hold on. Without revealing the person, because they haven't asked me to do that. I guess I'll just download it.
Well, then,
Hold on. Pardon me. So you were saying something about cara mia.
Cara mia. No, I was gonna say I'm gonna use that now as much as possible in my daily use of language.
Oh, okay. Well, you do that.
Thanks.
And okay.
Like, why are you signing off every email with cara mia?
Hold on. Almost there. There. This should work.
Oh, there it is.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So you get the Contessa,
and
he's lying down. Oh, she's holding the rose.
She's holding the rose.
There you go. Thank you for that. The person who gave it to us, they know who they are. So thank you for that. She's holding the rose. It's like this unfinished scene. That's really fun. And it's exactly like the panel breakdown is identical. So I at least knew it was that much.
The gun in the holster.
And then the gun in the holster at the end. Right. That's great. I believe you were holding a rose or whatever he says. But it's funny with the stereo and the telephone and
Totally.
Yeah. There you go. Well done. Thank you, everyone in the team. That was awesome. That's that's a lot of fun. Oh, okay. And he says we can say who it is. And it was Jay Torres. Friend of the show, Jay Torres.
Friend of the show, Jay Torres. Thank you.
Fantastic writer and all-around good guy who we're really looking forward to sharing a bed with at Deep River next year. He's convinced we're only sharing a house. I'm pretty convinced it's one giant bed.
See, don't you know that Karamia will come and hit you now?
We can reenact that scene in person.
There we go.
Oh, poor Jay. Oh, my
Poor
goodness.
Jay.
What a guy. Looking forward. All right.
All right. Hold it, Buster. Whatever you're doing here, cut it out.
Who, the Blazes?
Gotcha. Yee!
No. I won't let you stop me. Too much is at stake.
Oh, is this... Nicholas, look out. Something's blasting through the window. Lockheed, you dummy. What have you done? The crook's getting away. Oh,
it's hard to tell what that is, but it's a cigar store Indian.
Right.
You know, as
Indian? How do you do that? Right. How do you do that?
Right.
Oh my gosh. This is someone's apartment. That man, that woman. What have I done?
Before I lose my temper, young lady, I want an explanation. Make it real fast and real good.
Oh, geez. I'm real sorry. I didn't mean. I never realized. Nightcrawler, help! Katzen. What's going on? They sounded the intruder alarm.
You got to take this guy. I think you're built for it. Now, do you think he's got an accent?
Duggan? Isn't he? So no, isn't he like a New York guy?
Well, in the movies, he feels like maybe an East Coaster, like Boston or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you read the way he's written here, I'll let you play the way you want to, of course.
Oh, okay. I'll just okay. Nick, you okay? Damage control. Seal the bridge in a hull, and holy Mother McCree, where'd he come from? This is not going well at all. Storm will not be pleased. Forgive the intrusion in my hair. I'd explain if I could, but I fear you've never believed me. Afedasan! Great timing, kiddo. Oh, shut up. I'm so embarrassed I could die. Ta. If you don't mind me asking, Nick.
Should we go to full alert, sir? Was this an attack? Panty raid's more like it, soldier. Those kids super types are getting out of hand.
Nicholas, your eye patch is gone.
You got some really happy response for bringing out the Irish. There you go.
Yeah.
And Jay Torres wanted to remind us, of course, that it's not actually a holster. It was, a euphemism.
Oh, it's a euphemism. Thanks, Jay.
Perfect China.
Thanks. Yeah,
that is crazy.
We hadn't had a Banshee in a long time, so I thought, let's go. When I saw that Mary Mother McCree, Holy Mother McCree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't sure what you were going to do with that, but I don't think you could argue against it. So this issue is just really insane, and I wonder how much Claremont got to do in terms of what was going to happen on each page, or and where there's room for words and whatnot, because it just feels like not the easiest issue to read by comparison.
No, exactly.
Yeah. On to chapter 3.
Chapter 3.
Jonathan says, I have always read Dum Dum Dugan as an Irishman. Yeah, I can totally see that.
I was seeing Duggan. Is it Dugan?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
We could go back and listen to what they call him in Captain America: The First Avenger, but whether it's Dugan or Duggan, it's I think it really depends on the accent.
Right.
Did he ever make any cartoon appearances? I'm trying to think if
he's in What If. He's in the What If series, I think, as part of that Captain Carter.
I wonder if he was on anything in another interpretation of the character. Like, for instance, there was a there was a Spider-Man show where he's young, and there are other like kid kind of versions of some of the New York Marvel characters, like Iron Fist and Power Man.
Oh, sure.
And is it White Tiger? And I'm sure.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, either way, they're training for S.H.I.E.L.D., right?
Yeah.
And so there might be other times where characters like Dugan are there, and I just don't remember if they are there and how they're interpreted and whatnot.
Right.
And Jay Torres keeps messaging me over Facebook Messenger. He was saying, he says that tonight Nightcrawler sounds like Colonel Klink. Jonathan says he's always
that's what he's going to sound like.
Always pronounced it Dugan, like Dugan. I think I have too. Chuck says, on a scale of 1 to 1100, how high was Chris Claremont when he wrote this? It's so random. It really, really, really is. It's a nuts issue, and it just continues. Here we go. Chapter 3.
Okay, chapter 3.
At the bottom of the world lies a realm as far removed from modern society in time as it is in space. Hidden from prying eyes by the same majestic peaks that protect it from the elements, it is an oasis of lush primordial beauty in the vast icy wasteland of Antarctica. And then you get, the best dinosaur panel ever drawn in comics up to this point, perhaps.
Right.
You know what I mean?
As a throwaway, kind of.
Yeah, it's just your introduction panel. And for anyone who is not able to really see how good that is, again, if you can track down the essentials, it is really clear the unbelievable rigor that Golden and team use to make that come to life. And it is just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Anyway.
Wow. The Savage Land is everything you guys said it was. You probably feel right at home here, huh, Lockheed?
For some reason, Wolverine gets a word balloon. Oh, I know. So he's speaking telepathically, I guess.
Yeah, Xavier is, yeah.
Usually they would have... I'm not sure. I don't know if I've seen it done this way, where it is a rounded square as a way to imply that he's thinking it. Often it would be like the same one that Xavier is using, but with a directional that's coming from Wolvie.
Mm-hmm.
You sure we're in the right place, Charlie? Our quarry is making no effort to hide his trail, Wolverine. Almost as if he wants us to follow him. And if you don't know who he is, just look at the cover of the issue. Because there is no mystery, because we all already know. It's really not a good job of storytelling. None of this makes any flaming sense. What could he be after here? Heads up, troops. Moving in the trees. 2 people. Moving fast. Closing. Pull out your lightsaber. I mean laser sword.
Energy
sword. Sure. As Lander draws her energy sword, Wolverine pops unbreakable razor-keen adamantine claws from bionic housings built into his forearms. Would you like to be Shauna or
You can be Sean. I'll be Kazar.
With pleasure. Friends of yours, Kevin Darling?
A sight for sore eyes. Under the circumstances, Shauna O'Hara. Allow me to introduce the Uncanny X-Men. You haven't noticed a slightly kidnapped Sabretooth tech by any chance?
And then again, best Kazar to date in Marvel Comics. Just
right.
Throwaway panel. Unbelievable. Right. And the amount of Art Adams on this, about maybe 4 years before Adams would be able to draw, this beautifully, is crazy. Hey, quick random trivia for anyone there in the chat. This is 1983. Can anyone in the chat name a second character in Marvel Comics named Shauna O'Hara? Just putting that out there and see if you can. If you throw her code name in the chat, I'll know you got the answer. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out. Okay, keep going.
Someone just swiped Zabu. Actually, Gospodin Kazar, we are looking for a house which seems to be in a similar predicament. This is going to sound real loony, but a while I got no idea who's doing this. And I think I may have figured out why. The creep steers our mansion, Colonel Fury's eye patch, and now Lokazar's pet. I bet you it's a scavenger hunt. Sorry, that's me doing Daniel Craig doing Benoit Bond from, Knives Out. There you go. Sorry. I don't know if that's somebody else you know. That's the silliest. I don't know who says that.
Go on. We get one from Kazark.
Okay. That's the silliest thing I have ever heard. You got a better idea, Lord Kazar? Any of you?
Professor, any comments? Rogue's theory is intriguing, Storm. Unfortunately, it brings us no closer to identifying our quarry and putting an end to his rampage. X-Men. He's on the move again, heading due north.
Yeah, it's a messed up Rogue picture for sure. Like, I don't know what warp thing he was going for, and maybe the inker took some liberties or didn't stick to his model, or he didn't really map out his model all that accurately. But it is not her best looking version. Jay Torres continues to chat with me privately.
Jay, join the chat officially on the channel.
He says, from Wikipedia, Dum Dugan was originally portrayed as a British citizen in Sergeant Fury #1, but later retconned to be born in Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston. All right, sorry. I'll try a bad Boston Red Sox fan accent next time.
You don't have to do what Jay Torres says just because he's.
I do like that guy too much.
Yeah. Chapter 4, New York City, where in a Fifth Avenue mansion famed throughout the world.
The intruder alert. Oh my goodness. That's the Fantastic Four's Fantasticar on our front lawn. But what's all that clutter piled atop it?
Stolen property, I'll bet. And there are the thieves. I recognize them both from our files. The Steel guy is Colossus, the gal's Rogue, one of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants.
But Miss She-Hulk, Colossus is an X-Man. They and the Brotherhood have always been bitter foes.
Looks to me, Jarvie, like somebody switched sides.
I'll summon your fellow Avengers, madam.
Why bother? There's only 2 of them. The odds are in my favor. Who do these bozos think they are anyway, ripping off the Avengers? Is nothing sacred?
There, Colossus in some kind of flying bathtub heading downtown. What need has he for women's costumes? What need of the Avengers for so many? That hovercar's loaded, he can't move fast or maneuver. We got a good chance of finally catching him. Come on, hey!
Nice takeoff, sweetheart, and an even nicer landing. 1 crook down, 1 to go.
You are mistaken, miss. We are not criminals. We seek to catch one.
Shorty. Oh, sorry. Give me a break, Shorty. I didn't believe that line when I was a lawyer.
A pity, for it is the truth.
Fella,
Do you want to be Iron Man?
I teach you to be polite to ladies, even mean green ones. Iron Man may not be an active Avenger anymore, but I'm not gonna fly on by and let one of them be trashed.
I love
Some
watching.
of the stuff in here. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I love watching heroes tussle, right? And it's a great Colossus catches her fist.
Yeah, I mean he can go toe to toe with her.
Exactly.
Both of them, a similar power set.
Yeah.
It's funny when there are images where like you think Michael Golden ran out of time and didn't do a good job on just like the layout of the page.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments where I see his hand. For instance, the opening panel on the left, the way that room is staged looks like Michael Golden. She-Hulk running across the panel and on her way out. That looks like Michael Golden. The bottom looks like Golden. But then the next page, maybe the top tier looks like him, but like her face in the middle one and Colossus doesn't look like Michael Golden.
Yeah.
And the bottom half of that page doesn't too much, except for the Iron Man does. It has all the golden proportions, the roundness of the boots.
Mm-hmm.
But the middle tier and then the one on the left where he's flipped her over, they don't really look like Golden. So it's funny how different inkers maybe take more or less of his style. They either accentuate it or diminish it, or maybe lend a hand with penciling too. Because we know he's laborious. I mean, he's very slow, and you can see why.
Yeah.
And then the next page, there's like no doubt that Michael Golden drew, the heavy lifting.
Right. Yeah. Those monsters and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the shadow on Doctor Strange is right up his alley. I wouldn't be surprised if the background of New York City is not him. Who knows? Like it's so funny to try and play that game. Anyway, at that moment, in a townhouse on Bleecker Street, in the heart of New York's famed Greenwich Village, the master of the mystic arts, sorcerer supreme of Earth, meditates in his sanctum sanctorum, blissfully ignorant of the night's events. That's about to change.
By the hoary hosts of Hoggith.
You're not used to saying that phrase, no?
No, hoary hosts. It's like Carpamia. It just doesn't come easily.
Yes, that is.
By the hoary hosts of Hoggith. Yeah.
That is like a Stanley staple.
Gotcha.
The brownstone is protected by spells against assaults, mystic and temporal, making the building supposedly impregnable. Yet Doctor Strange's sigil window is snatched from its frame with appalling, impossible ease. Wink, wink. With the window gone, those self-same shield spells are totally disrupted. It's pretty nasty. Nearby, what the heck is that? Beats me, She-Hulk. I'd rather not find out. I think I'd rather not find out. No false moves, pal, or you'll get another dose of my repulsor rays. Understand?
If you will allow me to explain. A wasted effort, Colossus. These jerks will never listen.
Rogue, you're conscious.
Surprise! Not only can I take a punch, but I give as good as I get and then some. Slightest touch of my flesh to yours and renders you unconscious and transfer your powers to me.
Oh. With She-Hulk's strength added to her own, Rogue will become pretty near unbeatable. The transformation isn't complete, though. Maybe a repulsor blast can still KO her.
Is that the best you can do, Shellhead? It tickles.
This is getting out of my league. What should I do next? Fight on alone? Get reinforcements?
Remember me, Gospodin Iron Man. We did not attack you, yet you struck without warning, without even trying to learn why we are here. Is this how you Avengers repay the X-Men's friendship? Colossus, what are you doing? While you dummies are wasting time, our phantom burglar's hitting his next target.
What the? That kid rising out of me like a ghost.
So let's get the creep. Hey, wait for me. You don't know where to go. Gee, sorry about this, Iron Man. When I phase through things, my power disrupts electrical circuits. I bet that's why you can't move. I wish I could stay and help, but I gotta run.
So this page also has lots of things in it that don't make me feel like Golden's there. But that last pose of Kitty, like that body language looks like he would have drawn. Like that gesture feels like one of his, you know?
Right.
So there are just weird faces that don't look like him and some things that do. Yeah, it's really hit and miss. Why me?
Master Iron Man, how good to see you again, sir. I've summoned the rest of the Avengers. They'll be here directly. Do you require assistance?
I don't think so, Jarvis. The kid froze my armor momentarily, but the systems seem to be automatically repairing themselves. They zapped She-Hulk, though. But good.
could you convey her to our infirmary? The medical computers possess the necessary data from the Avengers' last encounter with Rogue to deal with her affliction.
In Avengers Annual 10, everyone, not 7.
Which we read on this show!
Yes, we did.
Some time ago. This is the most unnerving. I never dreamed the X-Men might become villains.
I hate to say it, Jarvis, but I've got a feeling that we all jumped to the wrong conclusion. From the way they talked, they were chasing the real crook. If we hadn't interfered, they might have caught him. They also sounded like Iron Man was a friend. What do I do about that? The Iron Man they know is my boss, Tony Stark, the man who created this suit. They don't know me, James Rhodes from Atom. And I sure don't know how to handle their crazy powers. This masquerade is getting harder and more dangerous every day. Any idea what was stolen, Jarvis?
I believe so. Only the Wasp's costume collection.
Huh?
My sentiments exactly.
A few minutes later, a few blocks down Fifth Avenue.
Coast is clear, guys. Boom.
Never figured I'd walk this turf again. Scout the room, Wolverine. According to the professor, our quarry is somewhere in here with us.
Look, on that catafalque, the White Queen.
I've never heard that word before.
Yeah. After we captured,
one.
Yeah, thanks. After we captured Mastermind, Professor Xavier learned that Ms. Frost had been one of his first victims. He must have created the worst illusion to put her in such a state. I know she's a villain, a leader of the Hellfire Club, but isn't there anything we can do?
The professor offered his help, but it was refused. To my mind, kitten, it is no less than she deserves.
That's a line I'd expect more from Wolvie, not Aurora. She sounds almost glad.
Storm's change is more than cosmetic. She's wilder, tougher, walking mine and Yukio's road. I wish I could be sure that's right for her.
Mind anything, Tovarish?
Only Sleeping Beauty and her bouquet of fresh flowers.
Wolverine! What are you doing?
It's the flowers. They ain't real. Gotcha.
I think you did Shaw.
All right, I'm trying to remember. Oh, yeah, okay. It's really heavily enunciated to do Shaw.
Yes.
This is private property, X-Men. Your trespass will cost you dear. Oh, my. The gentleman looks upset.
Sebastian Shaw. Leave him to me, y'all.
Rogue, wait. Impetuous as ever, rogue. Did you learn nothing from our last encounter? That, thanks to my own mutant powers, the harder I'm hit, the stronger I become.
There are ways to defeat you, mein Herr, without striking a blow. That one punch drained all the power Rogue absorbed from She-Hulk. She's barely conscious. Shaw could tear her apart unless I divert his attention to me.
Unnoticed in the confusion, a brightly colored balloon, which a minute ago had been a gun, floats towards a costume once worn by the Hellfire Club's Black Queen. You all look like you're having so much fun. I wish I could stay and join in, but I'm late, and I have lots still left to do. Bye.
Was? Oof!
I wonder how the others are doing. I wish I'd never promised not to peek. I shouldn't worry. I'm getting great prizes. I'm sure to win.
Stupid move. I'm lucky Shaw didn't snap me in two, but that voice distracted me. Ah! Ouch! Where does the rocket come from? Watch out, everyone! The ceiling's coming down!
Flowers, guns, balloons. Now a rocket? We are obviously up against a shape changer, and I think one who means us no real harm. Although his antics may get us all killed. It's almost as if we are playing a child's game. Yow! Storm, what are you doing?
A whirlwind. Hold tight, Lockheed.
Our mission has nothing to do with Sebastian Shaw or the Hellfire Club. We tried to catch a thief and failed for the last time. The madness has gone on long enough, and I mean to see it ended. By the way, that panel of Storm at the top is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that is pretty great.
Yeah, really, really, really good. Old scores here must wait to be settled another day. That day will come, Wind Rider, and sooner than you think. You can count on it.
Ooh. By the way, I love having gone through the last, 6-8 months of Hellfire issues, that we've gone through, or maybe in this calendar year. It's kind of great just to see them pop up.
Yeah. It's,
they just break into the house. It's pretty
At their
great.
best, they're a really formidable adversary.
Yeah.
And at their worst, it's that issue where they swap bodies.
Exactly.
This is okay. So if this was weird already, it's about to get batshit weird.
Here we go. Oh, yeah.
Chapter 5. 575 Madison Avenue. The 6th floor. They're gone? Oh no, this is terrible. What could have happened to them? Where could they be? Were they kidnapped by enemies or killed? How could my dear friends do this to me when I need their help so badly? What's this? A notice. Oh, wonderful. My friends are fine. They simply moved. Wherever they've gone, I shall follow. I only hope it's somewhere on Earth because I'm not allowed to go anywhere else. That's against the rules. And not so far away. Thank heaven for your Shi'ar cloaking device, Lalandra. No one notices the Blackbird, no matter where she goes.
My pleasure, Charles. Stay back, Colossus. The way my costume is ripped up, none of you dare touch me. Your power only works on flesh, Rogue. I am steel. I have nothing to fear.
Her costume is not even ripped at all, by the way. Like, the drawing does not match the script there. Wait, little brother. Your substance is a form of organic living metal. You might not be as immune as you believe. Where's that alien bozo now, Charlie? I'm itching to get my hands on him. I do not wish him harm, Wolverine, no matter what the provocation. Easy for you to say, Bob. The little creep owes me. Perhaps. But you will do as I say. I had a brief contact at Madison Avenue near 57th Street. He's moving downtown. Wherever he's going, Charlie, the people there sure got my sympathy. Like, just from a storytelling point of view, like, there's a conversation happening, and we only get, like, 2/3 of this guy's head. It doesn't really read well, this one. In this moment, at least. I think there was too much to do with not enough space. But that's partially, maybe some bad drawing, but also maybe you don't have to write so much, Claremont. We'll see. I shouldn't be so judgmental. I'm still enjoying myself, mostly because of you. Aw. 387 Park Avenue South, the 10th floor reception area of Marvel Comics. Mark. Go ahead, sorry.
Mark, saber-toothed tigers have short tails.
Hey, Elliot. How come Zabu's been seen in past adventures with a long tail? You figure he wears a disguise? Maybe it's his costume. By day, mild-mannered housecat. By night, Zabu, lord of the Savage Land.
Dumb, Mark. Really dumb.
Mark, that's Kazar's job. I should know. I write the book.
Look, guys, we We who work on Marvel Universe have responsibility. My pages. Ghost Rider.
Yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You're not allowed past here without a visitor's pass. Was that?
It sure was. Short tail too, Mark. Be careful. Wolverine, remember the professor's instructions. Oh, golly, sorry about this, fellas. We're the X-Men. We're... so,
Yeah, can you do
we're
it?
the X-Men. We're chasing a criminal. We won't be here long. We'll try not to make a mess. Wait for me.
When I get my hands on Claremont. Leaving editor Mark Grunwald, assistant editors Elliot Brown and Mike Carlin, plus receptionist Darlene Cole in the foyer, or as our American brothers say, foyer. Our heroes proceed to the far-famed, but not terribly spacious, Marvel bullpen.
There's Zabu, but where's our alien?
Whoa!
Cut it out, you people. This is an office, not a playground.
Again, Rick. I don't think you're listening.
Got any better ideas, Ron?
I'm gonna hide behind Danny Crispy until it's safe. Like, let's just name drop everyone in the office.
Everybody in the
Here we
office
go. Because nothing that the readers want more than to see a caricature of people they don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Except for now, this is like an awesome one for me because these are two G.I. Joe creators that I absolutely love.
Right.
Anyway. Lining one wall of the bullpen are various editorial offices, among them Larry Hama's, wherein he is currently in conference with prodigal freelancer Michael Golden.
So you're thinking about moving to the big city, huh?
Maybe. Cities make me claustrophobic there. But the climate in Florida's getting too hot. But then again... Greetings, Earthmen! I come in peace. Where might I find your esteemed leader, Stan Lee?
Hollywood.
Is that in New York? Eep!
We got you now, you little... Oh, Sam. Sorry.
Look at the face on Colossus in this
I
one.
know.
He's more like, not Schwarzenegger, but Rainier von Wolfcastle?
Rainier
Is that his name? We got you now, you little twerp. Now you're going to die.
Wolverine, no, the professor.
Catch me if you can. He hit it to us again. Heads up, Storm. He's coming your way.
You were saying?
Lots of weirdos in this town, you know?
Now you're going to die.
The best office in the place is the corner one overlooking Park Avenue and 27th Street. Of course, it belongs to the boss. Michael Hobson, Vice President of Publishing, everyone's favorite Marvel creator that I've never heard of until this moment. Like, I know he's not a creator, but you know what I'm saying.
Everybody's hero.
Like, we don't care about this guy at all. With him is Jim Shooter, also a Veep, Marvel's editor-in-chief. Have you seen these expense accounts vouchers, Jim? Sometimes I wonder if all he does is mooch lunches from his editors.
What can I say, Mike? Chris is a growing boy.
Like Chris Claremont, that is, I guess. He keeps it up. He won't even be able to fit through the door. Yes, Lynn?
Jim's needed in the bullpen. They say it's urgent.
A crisis already? Day's barely begun.
Well, look on the bright side. No one around here ever gets bored.
They never live long enough. Hurry back. We have a lot to discuss before our meeting with Jim Galton. Like, who cares? Why is this in the script?
President of Cadence Publishing.
Publishing, Marvel's big boss. Thanks, Louise.
Relax, Mike. Did you ever see a problem I couldn't handle?
Why is it those sound like famous last words?
Mike, about that problem.
Meanwhile, Stan's in California. He hasn't been based here for years. Great. That weirdo wants Lee so bad. Let's send him out to the coast after him.
That isn't fair, Wolvie. This isn't Mr. Lee's fault.
Our goal is not to get rid of our foe, Wolverine, much as we'd like to, but to stop this madcap rampage and regain all the stolen property, including our house. Like, we need to completely neutralize his power. Rogue, you are best equipped to do that.
Like heck, I never use my talent on an alien. I don't know what'll happen. When I absorbed Ms. Marvel's memories and abilities, that transfer was permanent. Because of it, I'll always be a little crazy. Suppose it happens again.
I understand and share your fear.
The blazes you do.
But we have no alternative.
Ms. Marvel was your friend, Aurora. You'll never really forgive me for what I did to her. I didn't mean to. I'd give everything to put things right. That doesn't matter. You don't trust me. You probably hope I'll be killed. Well, I aim to surprise you, honey bunch. Party's over, imp.
Goodness. Big zap. Rogue. I was afraid of this. It figures the little creep had power she couldn't absorb. She attacked me. She hurt me. It was no accident either. That was intentional. Boy, am I ever going to make her regret it. You want the lady, bub? You got to go through me. If you insist, Earthling.
Go ahead, you monster. Do your worst. You'll find the X-Men ready for you.
Why do you talk to me like that? I'm no monster. Pull the other one, chump. I'm not. Hold on, what does he mean, pull the other one?
Why do you talk to me like that? I'm no monster. Pull the other leg, I guess? You pulling my leg?
I guess. Maybe he wants me to pull the other one.
The third
You
leg?
know what I'm saying? His
Sure.
third leg.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. Tell that to Rogue, bub. She's lucky she's still breathing. She caught me by surprise. When she touched me, I felt my life essence, my very being begin to dissolve. I panicked. I didn't mean to hurt her. I don't want to hurt anyone. I only acted in self-defense. What do you think we've been doing all flaming night? Playing a game.
What game, mein Herr?
Why? Scavenger hunt, of course. Who are you? I'm the Impossible Man, the sole survivor of the planet Papa. Are you angry with me? Yes. I'm really sorry. Merciful Goddess, he is sincere. He is as innocent as a child, completely oblivious of the consequences of his actions. I assume your spoils are hidden somewhere. You bet. I got some wonderful stuff too, but Stan the Man would have been the best catch of all. I suggest, Impy, because I'm calling you Impy now, you take us to your cache, where you and we will have a little talk. But whatever can we do about this mess? However can we do about this mess? However, can we make amends?
Wheezy, this wasn't my fault.
Don't look at me. I don't pencil the book anymore.
Chris, Paul, boys, we have guests. Behave yourselves. We'll sort this out later.
So there we got, I think, Chris Claremont coming in from the hallway. And I guess that's supposed to be Paul Smith, crouched down, and then Weezer. Right. And then little smiley-faced brunette is Anna Senti, which is like her assistant, or part of the crew end. Or they would call her Annie sometimes, Annie Nascenti. This issue is really, really crazy.
It just keeps going.
It does. Yeah. We ready to roll, troops?
Nice kitty. Nice kitty. Nice kitty. Would it help, Marvelites, if we said we were real sorry?
Bye.
Bye.
Got an explanation, Jim?
Nope.
Me neither.
I hate to say it, Virginia, but this month's books may get out of the house a little late.
So what else is new? So, on that quasi-despairing note from Marvel's traffic manager, Virginia Ramita, the scene shifts from New York to the Gobi Desert in Chapter 6. But I got to say, that I don't know if you knew that John Romita Jr.'s mom, Virginia, was the traffic manager. She was the one that was basically calling everybody about where their pages were and the ins and outs of the office, like getting things out to, what's been mailed, what hasn't been mailed, what they're waiting for. So supposedly, if you got a phone call from her and you were getting cussed out and she had a mouth on her, she wasn't afraid of throwing around some crazy language. Chuck says the story is so completely random that the chat has gone silent for like half an hour. Don't think I haven't noticed, Chuck. That's
They're
very
just
true.
in awe.
We're going to take a pause for a second to discuss the saga of Crystar, the Crystal Warrior.
Oh yes,
Marvel Legends added a Crystar figure to their upcoming Avengers wave. They're doing a wave coming out in the new year that will have a Crystar figure because they made the comic, and so they got the license for the toy, and they're doing a Crystar, and just to see if people are happy about it, if it sells well, they might do some more.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm 100% serious. He's translucent and crystalline, and looks just like what we see before us here in this picture. And as a kid, this was my only interaction with the Crystar figures was this ad, but I did think I might have seen like Moltar or Magma Man, like one of those crusty red dudes, just in maybe a friend's toy box. But I always wanted Warbo was like, the roguish, eye patch wearing crystal guy who's like, he's the Han Solo of the group.
Ah, Warbo and his Warbo. Absolutely.
Yeah, I just thought that was so interesting. But any of these things where it felt like there was a world and a new mythology was completely captivating for me. So this panel, take a close look here. We've got
go ahead.
A bunch of giant things. I do not know yet what that giant round shape is. Do you know what it is?
No.
Like the Sinisphere or something. There is an awesome boat, which I don't know what the boat is. Maybe half the Titanic.
Maybe Titanic.
Do you see leaning up against that boat? What's there?
Leaning up. What is that?
It's an arrow.
Yeah.
With a couple stands on it. That is the key to Superman's Silver Age Fortress of Solitude.
Okay. And only he can lift it, kind of thing?
Only he can lift it and then put it into the lock. As well, do you see leaning up against the rock of the house a giant penny?
I see that. There's the penny.
And then, of course, the Fantastic Car is there.
Yep.
And so is the shape from Doctor Strange's house. Yep. And the Millennium Falcon. I'm all for this. I want more of that. You know what I mean? I just fill it with way more funny things that are not going to get anyone in trouble. Like putting that key in and the penny in are such good nods to those characters, but they're not things you can really trademark,
No.
Or copyright. So I think that's awesome. And Marvel, of course, was doing Star Wars comics at the time. So much fun to cross those universes.
Unbelievable.
Is the big sphere a Death Star? That's a good question, Chuck. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's not to scale, but there's also another node to it. Like it looks like there's a front part and then there's another curve in the top left-hand corner, like as if this is maybe the one section of a round protruding section. There's more back there, so I don't know what it is. It reminds me of the bottom of the helicarrier, but I don't know what it's supposed to be. Anyway, we'll keep going here.
Okay.
To the Gobi Desert, about as remote and desolate a place as exists on the planet.
Clow. Bleach.
You can say that again, Elf. You want to make that kitty?
Sure. Look at all this stuff. Impy's sure been one busy little critter.
Returning these items to their rightful owners will not be easy, Professor, assuming the Impossible Man even lets us. Isn't it magnificent? This is the best collection of prizes in the universe, and I got them all from friends or beings I liked. Thanks for the compliment, bub. But why'd you do it? What's this all for?
Now you're gonna die.
Yeah, big time. Now, this is just a giant page of like exposition.
Yeah.
Can we just skip it?
Sure.
Guys, he basically is in some contest. There's something about him being the last member of his race, and it really doesn't matter. But he stole stuff from other people want stuff, and then, of course, other alien races come to get him. And so they want to have a moment of truth where he's going to die, and who cares? Aliens are coming.
But you do get a little Easter egg there.
Oh, sorry. Well, I see the bottom of the Millennium Falcon, like the ramp.
Well, I was saying the second last, is that like an Iron Man suit?
Yeah, that's the original Iron Man suit.
Right.
They mentioned that they were, yeah. That is like when they called him the Golden Avenger.
Right.
And they have not made a Legends of that in the new series of Legends, but there will be one soon. Because they just made the gray one. So all I have to do is just repaint it. It'll be awesome. Because it's insane. It's like you have to read this whole issue just to get to this page, and it doesn't give you any sense of satisfaction. Anyway,
nope.
Want to keep going? Flip it?
Sure. There he is. Papian, your hour of judgment is at hand.
The thing is, no one cares about what happens to him. Like, he hasn't endeared himself.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, the stakes are nothing. So, yeah, if you want to flip it again, you'll see a bunch of aliens. Kind of, some fun designs, but nothing extraordinary.
No.
There's a cool James Bond role-playing game ad.
Super. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. Kind of. Some weirdness about it, too.
Some of these aliens are really weird.
Yep. But really again, I don't think we need to read that. It just... Yeah, they're not happy about it, and so they want to die. They want to kill them instead. So then, the Landra kind of gets in the middle of things and talks on his behalf. And again, there's nothing of any value or substance here. I'm sorry to say. Mm-hmm. It's just Claremont and Michael Golden fill in space.
Yeah, and ending the issue, basically.
Yeah, but can we just skip to the epilogue? Do you mind?
No.
All right. So there are terms, they accept them, and the epilogue. Well, it isn't fair. I didn't win. Here's your bomb pop, kitty. Oh, you do her with a Russian accent? I mean, I always imagine she's spent those years developing a not Russian accent.
Yeah, that's fine.
Anyway, I'll do a little bit of it, okay?
Okay, go for it.
It isn't fair. I didn't win. Here's your pop bomb, kitty. Sorry. I have to farm into it. It'll take me a while. Sorry. I always goes Romanian too. I turned Transylvanian so fast. How long's he been like this?
Non-stop since the Landra announced her decision.
Come on, Impy. Cut it out. You promised the Landra. Don't be a bad sport. Your prize stash was great. Someone else was greater. Those are the breaks. There's an ET blanket, by the way, or like towel at the top of the panel. You can't even see it on the screen. It's the yellow one.
Yeah. What is it?
The letters ET upside down. Like,
it's
an E and then a period and then a T. Yeah, it's really hard to read on screen.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. Nice.
There are a lot of things I'd like, Kitty, too. I'll bet that'll never happen. This hits the spot.
Life isn't fair, little friend, and you shouldn't expect it to be. It simply is. Come what may, you make the best of it.
I suppose so, but I really wanted to win. Kitty, what's that you're eating?
Ice cream.
Is it good?
Uh-huh.
I've never had any before. Could I try a taste?
Ileana, do you see what I see?
And how? Whoopee!
This, folks, we gotta do it together.
Is the
folks, is the ever-loving,
ever-living end.
End.
My God. I looked away to read an email, and holy hell, what did I come back to? Jack, you have no explanation. This is the strangest possible ending. Like, he sees the girls with their mouths on those popsicles, and he just turns into Magnum PI. And, And then Garfield. And then Kitty does a really funny hand dance, too.
Right. I mean, better if Garfield was like eating lasagna or something, and saying, I don't like Mondays. But, I mean...
I don't know. And then we get the assistant editor giving the credits and explaining how he got a billboard, put up a sign called the Scavenger Hunt. If Michael Golden did not pencil this issue, this might be one of the worst comics I've ever read.
Right.
You want to flip that last page to get the full credits? I wouldn't mind just reading who all the inkers are, just for the sake of, completion. So, Scavenger Hunt, plot and script by Chris Claremont, pencils by Michael Golden, except pages 28 through 32 were penciled by Brett Blevins. Thanks, pal. Inks by pages 1 and 2, Michael Golden, pages 3 to 7, Tom Mandrake, pages 8 and 11, Bob Wyachek, pages 12, 13, and 16, Terry Austin, pages 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, Brett Breeding, pages 20 to 23, Tom Mandrake, pages 24, Wild Bill Anderson, 25 to 27 is Joe Rubenstein, 28, Steve Lealoha, page 29, Sam De La Rosa, 30 and 31, The Rube, I'm referring to Rubenstein again, page 32, Big Al Milgram, pages 33 to 37, Brett Blevins, pardon me, and 38 and 39 are Terry Austin again. Like, everyone got a hand in this. I'm assuming it's because they were down to the wire and no one had the time to do the whole thing.
Right.
So they just passed out pages to people.
Yeah.
And it makes me even think, after seeing the results, that certain parts weren't fully penciled. And so they just kind of cover up for Michael Golden, just get it done and give him credit openly, and move on. But man, what a waste of an issue. But that, I think, is sort of how annuals were at the time. They weren't these meaningful parts of your story, right? They hadn't started, as was said earlier in the chat, it wasn't this part where they were connecting these annuals to each other or to the larger narrative. It was just this extra throwaway issue that do something fun.
Totally.
I don't know if you ever read any annuals as a kid, but once in a while, look at Avengers Annual 10. It comes out a couple years earlier, and that one is the first appearance of Rogue, as you mentioned we read on the channel. That's a continuity contributing comic book.
Sure.
Executed high craft. There are stakes, there are consequences, and it has a lasting impact, and that's a really great issue. And then down the road, we're going to get some crazy X-Men annuals still to come. We're going to get ones where Storm becomes a thunder goddess and wields a hammer and goes to Asgard. We're going to get, you don't know about the X-Babies, do you?
Is there anything like the Muppet Babies? I've got to.
Well, you know who Mojo is, right?
Yes.
You don't know about Mojo World?
I do. Well, yeah, I know about Mojo World. But...
Okay, well, the X-Babies are the Muppet Babies, and it's the X-Men, and it's Art Adams, and it's very, very silly, but you'll get to do some fun voices.
So then, I guess the question is, what is the purpose of the annual?
An extra issue to put out once a year that get get some more sales just for fun for, I guess, the fans, a little reward, I guess. I don't really know. I don't know. There was one that I loved when I was a kid, when I was an avid Avengers reader for a bit, when I think Buscema was on the series for his second or third run, and they had this issue where like they maybe the Grandmaster and one of the other Elders of the Universe like set up a game where it was like all the living heroes against all the dead heroes, and then every time they killed heroes, like they lost the battle, they added to the dead team, and it was like heavy, and it felt like down to like the last person. It was fun, but those annuals are kind of fun for those kind of crazy stories. Right. Yeah. Mass says, first time seeing this book, to be honest, it started off kind of interesting, but just went off the rails. Yes, as did this episode overall. By the end, I didn't want to read it anymore.
Like, next page.
Yeah, it was exhausting. It is really not a fun one to read. But next week, we will be back on track with the next issue of X-Men, which is 176.
Mm-hmm.
And there's more Sanagan in this issue than
so much hanky and even some panky in that issue.
Yes. And it's John Romita Jr.'s first full issue of X-Men, which is like historically interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of moves some of the storylines forward, sets up some things to come. And I'm looking forward to watching Romita pull from Paul Smith. Like start with I'm gonna kind of draw as much like Paul Smith as I can, but I'm running out of time. So I got to just get it done, and come hell or high water, we're gonna meet the deadlines, and even if it doesn't look great, so it's kind of neat to watch him. We're gonna get to see him evolve month to month, as we read these issues, which will be a blast. What else is going on out there? Yeah, I did not like this comic.
What else going on in our world?
Yeah, what else?
Is that last week we got our hands a week and a half ago. We got our hands on the brand new edition of Group of Seven, The Most Secret Tale, the second printing, the expanded edition.
It's not a second printing.
Sorry, first printing of the expanded edition. All to say, it's out there in the world. All our orders, I'm thinking of some people in the chat here. Chuck, I know you specifically because I mailed you out that stuff late last week. Everything that you ordered. All the shipment orders are done. Any other orders left to fulfill are pickups in person. Mass, I know you're one of them too. So we will schedule some time for those who are picking up in person, or we'll see at a show or whatever it happens to be. But everything else should be out there. And brand new book number 13 for us. So
I'm sorry to wag my finger at you. I'm trying to like technically it is not a second.
No, it's a new thing because of all the content. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's a new book, new name, new dimensions, new page count. But yeah, it is,
and we're really proud of it. It looks great. I think it turned out really well. And
I'm happy with it turned out. Like we were talking, you and I, it turned out the way that we expected it to.
Yeah.
So no surprises. With the material that's in there, which is art drawn from 2017 through 2020, which is always neat to see. And then there's like these bio pages that are on the back. I don't even know who has those pieces of art. Like those went out to our subscribers or like
pre-orders maybe for the exactly
from the first time we put this book out. Those were some of the requested sketches, and so I happened to scan them before we sent them out. So these are already in someone's possession, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of that. But I also like seeing like that in black and white. That's kind of fun.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Anyway, I'm a fan of just seeing this stuff again. It's totally. Nice. I know this one's in someone's private collection. Which is nice to sell a little bit of original art.
Yeah.
And that one too. That one belongs to Eli.
Yep.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. But this one, I love that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, those are always neat to add in the back.
Totally.
I'm really happy to do that. We have no shows for the rest of September because September's just about done.
Nope.
No appearances as of yet in October. But November. Busy boys again.
Yeah, we're running a workshop at the Whitby Public Library, just outside of Toronto. Comic making, that'd be tons of fun. And then we're back at that very same library for the Whitcalf Comic and Arts Festival. That's early November. You can find us at the Hero's Tale in Cambridge, Ontario in mid-November for a one-day show of all things comics. There's some indie comics folks as well as a few other pros. Yeah, there's our set of cards that came with the Raid, published by Raid, our Discover New Worlds and Meet New Creators. We've sold a bunch of these packs of cards. We have 7 cards in that set, and they're a ton of fun. There they are. And then we'll see. There's other stuff I'm sure it'll pop up.
Yeah, I hope so.
You know,
keep an eye on the socials. Check out some fun Battober stuff that's coming up.
Totally.
Over the next month, I'm going to enjoy drawing some Batmans.
Yeah.
But as of now, I'm going to head over and watch me some Ahsoka Tano while I ink some Batmans.
Nice.
Are you going to stay up or are you going to go to bed?
We'll see. Maybe. I might stay up. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, hit me up in the chat, man.
You know it.
Everyone who's been here with us through this issue, this was bonkers. I'm glad we got to go through it. I did not look in the Michael Golden art book before I did this to see which of those pages were in the artist edition. It might be worth knowing that some of them are, because his art always looks way better blown up and in black and white than it does in color. But this issue, I'm giving it a thumbs down as a story. It's still always worth checking out pages of his whenever I have the chance. So I don't think I'll be reading this one again in this form ever. It's going back in the box in the vault. And moving on from that. But next week we will return with many more X-Men stories to discuss. Thank you, everyone, for joining us in the chat. And if you're watching this on the replay, please do us a favor of clicking like and subscribe to the channel. Share if you know anyone else who would be interested in such content. Put a comment below. Let us know what you thought, if you agreed, disagreed with our take or our performances today. Yeah, it's tons of fun. I'm really glad that you could share this with us, and I hope you're still loving X-Men comics as much as I know both Chris and I are, because they're just
next time we get to do Dugan, it's a loudmouth Red Sox fan.
I wonder when he next shows up in X-Men. It might be in the Jim Lee, all the way in like the Jim Lee run. I don't remember if he's there. I know Nick Fury's there, but we'll have to maybe find a chance to bring in Dum Dum Dugan anyway.
Yeah.
There you go. Everyone have a good night. Stay well. And thanks for hanging out with us. And thank you, Chris, for doing this with me. We appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.